Okay guys, number 6. Some additional trig questions. Still rocking and rolling here. So we got the hypotenuse of 420, we've got the adjacent of 370, and we're looking for the opposite. So we're going to take the larger area minus the smaller area, square root to find this side right here. Okay, so let's see, we need the square root. Okay, and we're going to take the 420. We're squaring that so we can get the area minus the smaller area, so 370. Again, keep track of the fact that I am keeping the 370 in the brackets, and then I'm doing the squared, then I'm doing a closed brackets. Okay, so each bracket should have a closed bracket. This guy matches with this one, and these guys match together, and these go together. Okay, so we always have an opening and closing bracket, and we're looking for a value that is most likely less than 370. 198.746, so we'll do 198.75. Okay, now we need to find the angle now. We've got the hypotenuse and we've got the adjacent. So hypotenuse and adjacent, looking for the angle. Let's do cos. Okay, so we got what, 420 and 370. Okay, so we've got the inverse cos of 370 divided by 420. Is that right? Yeah. That gives us an angle of 28.242. So we'll do 28.24. Okay, hopefully you're following on with the same pace as we're going right here. At this point, we've done a lot of these questions, right? So you should be able to rock and roll through each of these questions. Next one is 185. And we've got an opposite value of 60. And we're looking for the angle. So let's do sine, right? We've got the opposite and the hypotenuse. So we've got 60 over, what was that, 185. So we'll do the inverse sine of 60 divided by 185. That gives us an angle of 18.924. So we'll keep it at 18.92. Okay, now we're looking for the adjacent. We have the larger area minus the smaller area will provide us with the adjacent. So 185 squared. So we'll do the square root of 185 squared. Okay, minus the 60 squared. Close the brackets there. Equals 175. Dead on. Excellent. We're flying. 3.5 minutes and we're already done 2 of these questions now. Okay, let's do the next one. Next one has a hypotenuse of 17. It has an angle of 20 degrees. And let's see, for the adjacent we know we're going to use cos. For the opposite we know we're going to use sine. We've done this a number of times. So let's do the adjacent first. Okay, so the adjacent is going to be equal to cos of the angle times the, do we have the hypotenuse? Yeah. So we got 17 and we've got 20. So we'll do cos of the angle. So we'll do cos of 20 degrees times our hypotenuse. Oops, let's go back and put that closed bracket in. Times our hypotenuse of 17. That gives us a value of 15.974. Because it's a 4, we'll keep it at 15.97. Okay, we used cos in order to find the adjacent. We'll now use sine in order to find the opposite. So we're going to do the sine of 20 degrees times our hypotenuse. I think our hypotenuse was 17, right? 17, yeah. Okay, that gives us a value of 5.814. So we'll do 5.81. Sweet. Okay, next one. We've got hypotenuse of 13, adjacent of 10. We're trying to find the opposite, so we'll do Pythagoras first. 13 squared minus 10 squared. Okay, so we got 8.306, so we'll take that as 8.31 for the opposite. And then we'll use these two values, the hypotenuse and the adjacent, or given values, in order to find the angle. So adjacent and hypotenuse, that would be cos. Okay, so we're going to take the second function. So the inverse cos of the adjacent, which is 10, divided by our hypotenuse, which is 13, gives us an angle of 31.715, so we'll take 31.72 because this is 5. So 5 and above, we round up. Sweet. All right, guys, we are rocking here. 6 minutes. Okay. What do we got? Hypotenuse of 520. Okay, what do we need? Opposite is 200. And we are looking for the adjacent. So we're going to do the larger area minus the smaller area. 520 minus 200. Oops, let's go back and put in that 0. Close brackets. Okay. That gives us 480. Dead on. Beauty. So we got 480 here. Okay, and then we're looking for an angle. Well, we use our given values, opposite and hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse. So we'll use sine. So 20 over 520. Okay, so second function, inverse sine of 200 divided by 520. 200, 520. Looks good. Angle of 22.619. We're definitely rounding that one up because we've got a 9 here, so 22.62. Sweet. Okay, next one, we've got a hypotenuse of 10,000, sorry, I'm on cruise control, 1,038. All giddy because we're getting through these pretty fast now. 1,038, and we've got an angle of 45 degrees. Well, that's 45, that's 45, so we know our opposite and adjacent are going to be the same. And adjacent, we're going to be using cos of the angle times the hypotenuse. So cos 45 times 1,038. Okay, so 70.7% of 1,038 is 733.98. And with confidence we can again do this, because that's a 45-degree triangle. With the opposite, let's use sine just to double check. Okay, so we're going to do the sine of 45. Okay, we're going to multiply that by our hypotenuse of 1,038. Okay, we're looking for 733.976. Beauty, 733.976. So we're going to round this up to 98. Very nice. Okay, we're just mirroring the 10-minute mark here, so let's just bang this last one off in the next minute. Okay, so we've got an adjacent of 600. We have an angle of 30 degrees. We know that 30 degrees, that this is going to, this compared to the hypotenuse, this is going to be twice what the opposite is. So let's see. Let's do, what are we going to do first? Let's do the opposite first, and let's use tan. Okay, so using tan, the opposite is going to be tan of the angle times the adjacent. So tan of 30, close bracket, times 600. That gives us 346.41. Okay, and then we'll use these angles, this angle and the adjacent again, in order to find the hypotenuse. And at that point, we're going to use cos, right? Because we need to find the hypotenuse. It's going to be the adjacent divided by cos of the angle. Adjacent divided by cos of the angle. So 600 divided by cos 30. The cat behind me is telling me to hurry up here. Here we go, 692.82. Not going to round it up because we're at a 0, so 692.82 for our final value. Sweet. So hopefully you kept up with that disgusting pace. We're at 11.5 minutes, and we just finished all of these equations and ratios in that time frame. That was awesome. All right, guys, move on to the next one.